Congratulations. You have now finished your first week of sending Upwork applications. That means that you've filmed somewhere around 60, 65 videos or so. And if you stuck with this consistently over the last week, you should be very proud of yourself because so few people get to that point, let alone in the first month, 2 months, 3 months. You've done all this in the last week. So by now, you'll know your pitch like the back of your hand. And you've also gotten a ton of experience improving the most important practical skill out there, which is the ability to sell yourself. What we're going to do now is a retrospective, and we have a bunch of retrospectives in this program. This is just going to be the first of many. We're going to do retrospectives for your cold email. We're going to do retrospectives for your community posts, your proposals, your lifestyle audit. Like everything is going to be retrospective on a cadence that allows you to both do the thing a ton and then also reflect on it regularly. Now, in order to do the same, in order to succeed quickly, it's not just enough to do the same thing over and over and over again. You need to consciously evaluate your progress. And I bring this up because I think that most people do this too quickly. They'll experiment with some strategy and they'll do it for one day, and then they won't get a result in one day, and then they'll quit. But a lot of the time, business moves slow. Reality, life has a bit of built-in lag. So the strategies you employ will rarely yield results within that day. If you try and decide that something is working or is not working within 24 hours or sometimes in a few days, then you're usually just shooting yourself in the foot. You don't actually know whether or not it's paying off yet. So our retrospectives occur basically on a weekly basis for all the lead generation platforms that we're sending stuff out on. And the reason why is we just want to give the rest of the world enough time to catch up. We want to allow people to respond to your outreach, right? Not everybody is going to see it in the first day. Some people are going to drip it out over the course of the next week or so. We want to give just life enough time to accumulate, sort of like it's almost a statistical thing. To reach statistical significance, you need to give life enough time to accumulate the results. And then once we have enough, then we can actually look at it and say, okay, yeah, I'm quite confident that this approach works or this approach doesn't work. So here's how to do the retrospectives. What you're going to do is follow a few simple steps. It'll take you between 30 to 60 minutes in total. Don't spend the whole day doing this, but definitely give it some time. And I'd recommend you open up a Google Doc, call it Upwork Retrospective. If you have some other note-taking app or something like that that you've been using up until now, you can do that as well. But what I want you to do is the following. I want you to open up your Upwork, and I want you to look at literally every reply that you've received from interested parties using this video application approach. These are what we call successful applications because they're, regardless of whatever the person's reply was, whether it was like, hey, thanks so much for the video, but I'm not super interested, whatever. These are all still successful because they did the intended job, which is to get some type of interest from the client, to interest them at least enough to send you a message back. What I want you to do next is I want you to write down what you think these applications have in common. I want you to watch through all of the videos that you sent, read through all the CVs, and just see if there's anything distinctive about them. You'll have to look to pattern match, basically, but see if there's anything special in these videos that you did that you didn't do in others. Maybe it was the way that you talked. Maybe it was the fact that you were applying to a certain niche of jobs, right? Maybe all of the people that got back to you, most of them were like recruitment companies or something. And also ask yourself if you applied to them on a certain day or maybe even at a certain time. Do you find that the bulk of the replies come in the mornings, for instance? If so, well, odds are there's some sort of pattern there. Are there any common themes or trends that you're noticing in the types of jobs that you're applying to? Like if there's a specific niche or type of client that seems to be more responsive, make a note of that because that's really important. Now, what I want you to do, open the last 5 videos that you recorded. So just the last 5, not just the successful ones. And I want you to watch the last 5. So this should be like video 61, 62, 63, 64, and 65 from start to finish. And identify what you did well, what you think that you screwed up on, maybe in your delivery, the things that you were talking about. Take like a third-person view. Take my view and pretend that you're me evaluating how good your application is. Do you think there's anything that you could have done differently to make it more effective? And then at the very end of this exercise, you're going to have a big list of like little bullet points that you think, I've noticed that people tend to respond to this, or I screw up here a lot. I want to fix this, that sort of thing. What you're going to do is you're going to come up with just a handful of small tweaks that you can make to videos and applications moving forward. I want these to be tangible. I want these to be actionable changes that you can implement immediately. So structure it in the form, stop saying X, start saying Y. I should show Z on screen. The point I'm making is just make this super simple. Give yourself between 5 to 10 of these actionables. And then the next time that you do the Upwork retrospective, you'll be able to evaluate whether or not you stuck to these and how they worked as well. When you're done, what I want you to do is create a school post about this. You can copy and paste the whole Google Doc in there if you want. You could omit some stuff if some of it's maybe a little bit more private, whatnot. But what I want you to do is I want you to make it public, because if you make it public, it will make it substantially more concrete. The second that it's substantially more concrete, it'll allow us to help track your progress more. And then if there's any feedback that, coaches or anybody else has in the community, maybe struggles that other people are going through, things that other people have tried, we'll all be able to collaborate on that and make the quality of your applications better. So without further ado, give it a go. Give a good 30 to 60 minutes in this Upwork application retrospective. And I think you'll be very happy with sort of the depth of quality that comes out of this. I also believe that if you were to look at the very first video you sent, compare it against the 65th video that you've sent, you'll notice a massive difference. So that might be worth doing too, just for shits and giggles. Off you go.